So I have a lot to say about Sonic Prime. Me and my sister watched it yesterday, and we actually loved it. So I'm going to talk about the apparently the good and the bads. So apparently I'm going to start off with the bad points of it, and then get into the good parts of the series. Okay, so the first one I'm going to start off with the negatives is the flashbacks. Um, every single episode you get the flashbacks, and most of it is just feels repetitive. If you get what I mean, it's like the same flashback, but there's like, oh, it's just changed onto like a different character somehow. Basically into a certain flashback, and I'm like thinking, I don't know, because when they show it off too much, it can get boring. um so the only one thing I liked about the flashback was mainly to do with Shadow. Like, most would question, oh, why did Shadow end up? um so that's the only thing I liked about the flashback, because the other ones were just too repetitive. um so okay, so the other thing is Sonic not thinking straight, like he does in the games and whatever. Because in the games, Sonic actually thinks first. He thinks about the danger and whatever, and actually is, aware of sometimes around, mostly around his surroundings. Um, but in the series, he was not. He was not really that smart. When you think about it. But the only time he gets smarter is in the series. Well, depending on which situation you look at. Like sometimes, like when Nine tells Sonic that not to wander into like not to like get alerted. Sonic does it anyway. Like he's just not listening. Or when everyone wants Sonic not to shatter not to go into the the shard, to apparently split it. Sonny didn't listen about that one. Because he broke it anyway, and it was all his fault. um, so that was another one. So Sonic just not able to think at all is actually strange to me. It's very, very weird. His personality, whatever. Well, the way he's acting sometimes it changes or whatever, and I'm like, okay. Another one I have to address is Shadow breaking the fourth wall. Yeah. Shadow doesn't really break the fourth wall in anything, and it's pretty weird that Shadow would break the fourth wall in Sonic Prime, while they're having a fight, while he's fighting with Sonic, because apparently Sonic takes the piss out of his shoes, and then he, by calling them something, and then Shadow says they're air shoes, but I have to address this. It's not air shoes, it's hover shoes. um, they called them hover shoes. Reason for that, why we basically call them hover instead of air, is because they're able to fly. Shadow shoes, they're actually able to fly. Because that's what allows them to fly. Um, Also, it also gives him speed, if anyone doesn't know that already. So yeah, I'm hoping Shaw doesn't really break the fourth wall again, because I do not want him doing it again. I don't know. The fourth wall break was why I didn't like Sonic Colors and such, because there was just too much of it. Okay, so down to the positives. So the good part I liked about the show is the comedy, the amount of the amount of comedy in an episode. Every single episode was funny, especially with the characters. Um, so it was funny. Um, okay, so basically, basically I think the best character has to be Shadow. Up to now. In the episodes because most episodes he tries to get through to Sonic, and apparently says that so apparently what the so Shadow tries to get through to Sonic and apparently whatever, but Sonic doesn't really notice much on what's happening. He just keeps hearing voices. Sometimes you see Shadow and whatever, so like every single episode. Like Sonic actually ends up captured in the first episode and such, ends up like going against the Eggman Council and whatever. Which he ends up teamed up with Niles, which everyone pretty much knows is actually Tails. If anyone doesn't know the story of that one already, it's basically it's a universe where Tails never met Sonic, and he created inventions to actually overthrow his bullies and whatever. So that's Tails. Tails is more on the negative side, where he doesn't trust anyone at all, and can even betray certain people. He actually did in basically in the end of a certain episode. He did betray them by stealing the shard after Sonic got away through the shard after getting told. The other ones got captured, unfortunately, but Niles actually got away and he stole it, and he ended up basically in a flying craft, and then he apparently got captured after that. So apparently he did get captured by the end of, I think it was the next one. Yeah, I think it was one of the next episodes or whatever, that he ended up getting captured after Sonic comes back. So because Sonic kept going through like different portals to like whatever. So that is another thing. I actually find the humor hilarious and whatever. It is pretty funny. Yeah. So what else? Yeah. Apparently, one other thing I have to say is um, basically the one where he ends up in the pirate one. I love that pirate one because Knuckles actually was great. Whoever pulled that voice actor, I mean the voicing for Pirate Knuckles was hilarious. Because it actually did sound like a pirate. I'm thinking it could have been like a different actor that did it, but it was bloody amazing. I liked it. But the others, I think Knuckles fitted it better with the pirate accent, which was great. It's like I was just looking at a totally different Knuckles. Okay, so apparently in the second, I think it's the second episode, um he ends up in like some sort of I'm gonna some sort of like prehistoric era, I'm gonna call it, or ice age thing era. I don't know. I'm not so sure. I think it's something like that. They end up in some sort of fallout. Apparently, Amy, which is known as Thorn, and the others can't remember the names. They all have weird names. So apparently you've got a Rouge lookalike that, well, I don't think she's called Rouge though. So apparently they're all in a debate over Thorn. I think she's called Thorn. I think. And basically she's like deeper down the jungle, protecting this tree, which is called the Big Green or something like that. Um, and apparently they all think Amy's a monster. The ones that are up above, they think she's a monster. But not really. She's more basically, more of like survival instincts kicking over and whatever. Okay, so apparently the third episode just leads into the I forget the name of it, but he ends up back in the place where Nines was. I'm just gonna call him Miles because it makes more sense. I'm just gonna call him Miles because that's what Evil Tails went by in because that's the name he went by. So yeah, so the next thing that happened was I'm just gonna skip most of it because we already know what happened already because I already explained the third episode. So anyway, he ends up basically going back through and ends up in the pirate universe, which is pretty good. Like basically, it's mainly about like him getting over his fear of water, and end up joining the pirate crew, which apparently would know that Knuckles is the captain up to now. So Knuckles basically is a coward. He's actually a coward, and so is his crew, unfortunately. But I would have liked it if he actually fought back, like a team. So yeah, the only one that actually stood against them was Sonic. Stood against the pirates and whatever, but eventually they actually did somehow fight back in the end. So apparently Sonic did actually end up getting the shard and whatever, in that one. And then he did end up, elsewhere, and such. Yeah, so apparently going back to the same universes can just get repetitive. You know what I mean? Without going to different universes as well. I am hoping that Scooge is one of them. In one of the episodes, in one of the seasons. I mean, like one of the actual episode itself. I'm hoping Scooge comes in on one of them because he actually is the evil side of Sonic. But when I think about it, I don't think that's a possibility because every single universe didn't really have a Sonic, so probably would just be see evil sides of them instead. I think like to do with like Tails, Amy, and so on. I mean, we've already seen like an evil Amy, robotic Amy, but I mean like the more twisted evil versions of them. Like like mainly all of them. Okay, so apparently I like the part where where Sonic just ends up in the same void as Shadow at one point. When he kind of like gets trapped there. Because as Sonic was traveling, Shadow actually caught him. And he basically wanted to fight with Sonic. Because Shadow was trapped in the void because of Sonic, because of his reckless actions. Now, that's the Shadow I like, because Shadow always has a thing to say. He always knows when Sonic is doing something wrong. Take 06, for example, he actually warned Rouge not to touch the animals. So, back to apparently Shadow, he's actually telling Sonic that he broke the shard, he messed up reality, he got him stuck, and he also said to Sonic, the universe is gone. Everything we love about that universe is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. So he's like telling Sonic it doesn't exist anymore, and he's just fighting Sonic over it. So apparently that is the cliffhanger to the next episode because they could still be fighting. But maybe in the next episode we'll get to see why Sonic is, like why apparently what Shadow has to say more in the next episode. Maybe they'll team up together. Maybe they'll team up at some point. I don't know. I'm just thinking it. They might. Maybe Sonic might be able to get Shadow out of the void. And into a universe with him or something. So they end up together. Something like that. If they can work out the differences. So yeah. I hope. I'm really hoping. So yeah, apparently that's all I've got to say, about that one. Okay, okay, so I'm, oh god, okay, I'm gonna basically say this right now because this is just classified as rude. Okay, William, I'm not fake. I'm real. So get that through your head. um, very, very rude. Oh, hugs, MK. That was really rude. Really, really, really rude. Yeah, because he said, right, you have one watch me, brat kids, and then said, you fake. And then said, bro, fake it. A bot dude who watch leave a bot brought. I mean, he must be jealous because he probably doesn't have a lot of views. He probably doesn't have a lot of people watching him, so why? Oh my gosh. I'm actually pretty glad you actually banned him. He fucking deserves it. Let's see. I'm gonna block him. Never mind. I think. Oh wait, he's gone anyway. He's an idiot. I'll bind him. Yeah, he better not come back with another user. I just don't want anyone like that in my live streams because it's awful. I mean, everyone just bloody hates people like that, where they can just get annoying and just butt in. Oh my gosh. By the way, did you watch Sonic Prime yet? Because I've actually watched up to one of the episodes or whatever, but I can't really watch all 10 yet. I think I might be on episode 9, I think. I think I'm up to episode 9. At least I think I am, or I'm not. I can't remember. Huh. So, did you? No, I haven't seen it, but yet spoiler doesn't bother me. So, okay, so it doesn't bother you. Oh, you should. You should definitely watch Sonic Prime. It's good. It's on Netflix at the moment. It's actually not on Netflix at the moment. Apparently, me and my sister was like watching it, and the quality just kept changing. And I was like, wow, bad stream. But at least it didn't crash. Yeah, I mean, you'd actually love it. I mean, maybe after you've actually watched Sonic Prime, you might have something to say, maybe in a video or something, as like a review about it. Yeah. um. Yes, apparently, if you want to hear the rest of the video from the start of my review, it's right at the start. Um, it's like right at the start. Um, basically, of what I'm talking about, so you'll be able to catch it there. So yeah, I'm gonna end this video right here. And whatever, and then just play a game and such. So yeah, so yeah.